friends. This is Life Coach Rich, and coming to you again, talking about this is talking about two-tiered justice system, and so there's a lot of talk about from the Democrats. A lot's at stake because we're going to lose our democracy, and so part of democracy is having fairness in the government. Is there a two-tiered justice system right now? I would submit to you that yes, there is. Um, Perfect example. We've got a very similar example. Former President Trump had some documents. They went after him. FBI, raided his place to go and get these documents. Also, Biden was found with documents a couple years ago that were from his vice presidency, unsecured. And so they did a special investigation into it. It was just sort of hush hush, pushed to the side. There weren't any charges made. And so I'll submit to you that that's a two-tier justice system. Because stuff was all in the media, and the media is part of it as well, is continuing to feed narratives. So it was all, as far as Trump did this, and then whenever Biden did the exact same stuff, and it was found that he broke the law. What happened to Biden? What happened to Biden? Let's hear why nothing happened to him and what was determined. And this was a couple years ago, related to this report that was talking about him even then as a confused elderly gentleman. Okay, not right here recently, right after the presidential debate. Okay, so isn't it ironic? A couple years ago that this report, year and a half ago, that said that this is what he was, and he's not going to be convicted or anything, because they're just going to think that he's a confused old elderly man. Isn't that odd? But so I submit to you, yes, there is a two-tier justice system. Here's what the person gives the findings of what the report was in the Judiciary Committee.
As we've sat here today, we've listened to our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have a lot of descriptions for this hearing. It has been referred to today as a sham, as a waste of time, as a political stunt. The motives of the members of this committee and the purpose for this hearing have been impugned over and over again, and it could not be further from the truth. First, let's begin by...
Now, why would this sham, just a political stunt, all of this stuff? If you really want to rule by law and order, wouldn't you want to get to the bottom of whoever is doing something wrong? Sure. If it's just if it's just your people, and I'm going to protect my people, the Democrats, if I'm just going to protect my people, and then old Joe messes up over there, well, we're just gonna give him mulligan on that one. We're just going to kind of brush it under the rug. By the way, media's going to help us do that. It's just not that big of a deal. Let's just squash it, and let's not keep hounding things about it. And so that's why the other Democrats are not wanting to say anything about these findings, because are they really concerned in law and order, about law and order, the rule of law and order, or are they just concerned about protecting their own?
By reviewing the reality of the report of Special Counsel Hur, and it was not an exoneration of President Biden. It certainly was not an acquittal of President Biden in any sense of the word. In fact, it was the opposite. That report presented evidence, presented conclusions that not only did President Biden possess classified documents that he was not lawfully entitled to have, that he handled them carelessly, that he shared them with others who were not entitled to understand or see or be aware of the contents of those documents. It did not conclude that President Biden acted properly. In fact, it concluded the opposite, that President Biden acted in a way over and over and over again that is contrary to our law, reckless, and contrary to the interests of our national security. What did the special counsel conclude instead? That President Biden might not be convicted by a jury because he would be perceived as a well-meaning, confused, elderly man. That is the conclusion of special counsel Hur. Not that there wasn't wrongdoing, but that a jury might be so taken by the confusion of a well-meaning elderly man that it would choose not to convict. And so what brings us here? The good faith efforts of this committee to identify the truth and the facts of what went on in those interviews with those documents, who saw them, what does this mean for our country? What risk has been posed to us because a president of the United States chose not to handle these documents correctly?
It's clear because it's Biden. So they're covering for their own. So it's this kind of stuff that it's unfortunate that, and whether it's Republicans, independents, Democrats, if there is corruption, if there's wrongdoing, people should be held accountable. So hear me when I say that. I'm fine with holding anybody, I don't care who they are, accountable for their actions. But when there's a lack of trying to investigate stuff because, oh, that's one of our own, and so we're just not going to worry about that. Or we're going to hide things, we're going to push things under the rug. Then that's just wrong. And so there's a lot of stuff that probably happens that shouldn't be happening. There's a lot of corruption that's going on that shouldn't be happening, and it would be great to not have that happen. But that's just part of living in a world of sin with sinful people. People have a price sometimes, and so then just if you never seen the old movie from Jimmy Stewart, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. That was just I just really liked it. First, I really like Jimmy Stewart, but that's just a good watch. It's an old movie, but it shows corruption and people can be bought in Washington for certain agendas, not actually doing what's supposed to be done for the people that they represent back home. Uh, and so it's a good watch. I'd recommend you watching that if you never watched it. It's old black and white. Anyway, that's what I have for you for right now. This Life Coach Rich, we need to keep improving together. Thank you for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.